If you're familiar with the original Belle Epoch, you're gonna love the new one. We took the same aesthetic approach and design and the inspiration of why we came up with the Belle Epoch in the first place, because we love the EP3, the preamp, and all the delay sounds. And we moved to a bigger enclosure, so we were able to redesign the whole thing using different components and add a little bit more flexibility in there. So what we did, both the original Belle Epoch and the new ones have a preamp inside of them, but we completely redesigned it. We use the orange drop capacitors that you can find in an actual EP3 unit. There's a lot of attention to detail in the design of this guy. You can power it with a standard 9-volt power cable, and internally it gets converted. There's a voltage tripler that puts it at 27 volts, and then we use a shunt regulated Zener diode to bring it down to 22 volts, which is exactly where the EP3 functions at. So it has a very similar amount of headroom. You can throw all kinds of pedals at it, and it's just going to make anything sound bigger and warmer and wide and everything you love about the EP3 preamp. So we added a couple of new things on this one. One of them being the expression capabilities, which we haven't really done before with delay pedals. We've got a toggle switch here. You can control the delay time on this setting. There's V and D, so delay stands for delay time. You can set your maximum delay time with this knob and do anything in between and take it back to a slapback. The delay time goes from 80 to 800, which is exactly what the EP3 functions at. So you can set that, and on any program that'll affect the delay time. Program 1 and 2 are different voicings of the classic EP3 delay. Program 2 is just a little more saturated and darker repeats going on there, a little thicker. Program 3, we've got a Leslie rotary type simulation. When you flip this over to the V side, the expression pedal is going to control the depth and the rate of the modulation that's happening. On 1 and 2, the expression pedal, the V stands for volume, so the expression pedal is going to control basically the mix of the repeats, so you can dial it back and take the repeats out but still have the preamp sound, and then you can bring it forward and then it'll mix in the repeats that are going on. Program 4 is a sweeping filter, and we added this, it's a wall-like effect, and there's a filter on the repeats. Program 5, that's the Deluxe Memory Man chorus. We love the Deluxe Memory Man and just thought it would be cool to have a couple of those patches in there, so you can get that warbly, kind of ethereal sound going on with the Deluxe Memory Man chorus. And we also added the NAMM vibrato in there too on patch 6. And again, the expression pedal controls the rate and the depth of all of those programs. One of our favorite things on this pedal that the rest of your band is going to hate pretty much is the echo oscillation switch, and that maxes the repeats temporarily. It's a momentary switch, so that'll just shoot off and you can change the delay time while it's ramping and get all the laser beam space sounds and stuff. So that's pretty cool, yeah. And then some of the other controls are similar to the original Belle and the EP3. You can change the record level, and that drives the preamp a little more, and it saturates it. And then this is just your overall echo volume, and then your sustain. You can get it to kind of float a little bit, or you can get it to ramp up and get louder. We completely redesigned it to be exactly like an EP3. So basically the only difference is that we don't have the tape heads and the magnetic tape in there. The whole preamp circuit is analog, and then all the time-based stuff is going on with the cartridge that we put in here. So this is the Epoch Pre here. It's the same design in the preamp in both of these pedals. This one just has a little bit more functionality. We decided to make this a preamp and a buffer and a boost. So you can turn the pedal off, and you have the option to turn this buffer on or off. We also added a boost knob, and you can turn that on as you please. Plenty of boosts on tap. There's a balance knob, which works as a master volume control up to about noon. And then anything past that, there's subtle phase shift and high frequency attenuation, and you can kind of find your sweet spot from there. And then the bias knob is cool. You can bias the transistors like you would tubes, and you can make them hotter and more broken up. We also decided to put 2 outputs on it. So Howard's playing into 2 Princetons. You can go into a stereo pedal, 2 amps, or whatever you please.